Well, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Here we are on the Let's Talk to Cutler platform, and we've transitioned over to YouTube. We've transitioned over to YouTube. I know it's a new platform, and a few people are still getting used to it. I'm going to give people a few moments to get in, but I'm excited because the family is now making our way over to YouTube. Let me know that you're here. Say something, say hello or good evening, good afternoon, or something. I'm Gregory Cutler. Let me know that you're here, that you're watching, and that you're here on YouTube with me. I'm excited about this new transition. I'm excited about this new platform. Say hello when you come in. And again, as we always do, make sure that you get your favorite seat, speak to everybody, let somebody know that Cutler is on YouTube now. It's on YouTube. And I'm excited. I'm excited about being here. And I'm going to give a few people a chance to get here. I'm really, really excited about being here. And I'm just sort of fidgety like a child on the first day of school. Hey, Devin, it's good to see you. Giving our virtual book club members a chance to get on in here and get their seats and get their beverages and get settled down so we can talk about it. This is Let's Talk to Cutler. I want to talk a little bit tonight and let people know who Cutler is. Who is this new guy or this old guy on a new platform? Who is this old guy on a new platform? So virtual book club members, come on in the room. And again, get your tea. I did something that's tradition. It's just tradition for me. I brought my peach tea. Yeah, and it's pretty doggone good if I say so myself. Just going to give a few folk a chance to make their way in here because I have something exciting, something special that you guys have just got to see. You've got to see this. And we have a whole lot to talk about. I know this is our first evening on this platform, our first time here, but we have a whole lot to talk about. So shout back, holler back at me, and let me know that you're here. And we really have a lot to talk about. And the beautiful thing about this platform is that I can talk and talk and talk and talk, and you can always go back and watch it. You don't have to have a special account, but you can go back and watch this. And guess what? We're not going to be here a long time, but for the next 1,800 seconds, you're going to let me in your living room or in your family room or in the kitchen or wherever you are, and I'm going to let you here into my study, into my office, in my whatever. It's a makeshift studio, but we're here. It looks like my cousin Mildred is here. Wow, cousin Mildred, you're the first one other than the producer to shout back at me and let me know that you're here. It's good to see you. Again, for the next 1,800 seconds, we're going to be chit-chatting. I didn't say 1,800 minutes, only 1,800 seconds. We're going to be chit-chatting. It's good to see you. So as you all make your way onto this new platform, say hello, holler at your boy, and let me know that you're here. Let me know that you are here in the room. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. I have some surprises for you, some new things, some interesting things that we really, really have to talk about. This is one of those platforms, so we're just going to talk about it. Looks like, okay, Vicky Turner is present and accounted for. Very good. And I know this is new, so the platform transition period might take a little time for people to get in here, but hey, you guys are here. You guys are here. And many of you know that I teach, so I can always get started. Okay, family from New Jersey is in the house. Jackie is here. It's good to see all of you all. So, tonight I'm excited. I'm just going to shout out everybody probably who comes here, at least for the first, 3, 4, 5 minutes. But we have a whole lot to talk. Hey, Sonia Bailey from Atlanta is here. It's good to see all of y'all. Come on in, share this with people. Tell them Cutler is on. The Let's Talk to Cutler show is on. The broadcast is on. The virtual book club members are meeting in this new space called YouTube land. We're here. Make sure, I can literally say this. Do me a favor, like, share, comment, and share. Just let somebody know that Cutler is on the air. Cutler is alive. Oh, okay, cousin lady, it's good to see you. I'm so glad to see you all. And see, you all didn't abandon me. You didn't forsake me. You didn't leave me here in my house all by myself. Here is the virtual book club family that Let's Talk to Cutler follows, and it's so good to see you all. Can you tell I'm excited? I'm all grand. I mean, really, just like a kid on the first day of school who's looking for, I want to see all my friends. Where are all of my friends? There you guys are. Yeah. I do have a whole lot. I want to catch us up on a whole lot. Listen, a whole lot of stuff has happened, but this is a new platform. This is a new platform. I'm excited. Are you all excited? Did it take a long time for you guys to find me? I hope not. You know, I gave everybody a week off last week. Well, not just me, the producers and I, we talked about it. We said we've got to give the family members a chance to get their books. They got to get their books and then they have to subscribe. So now that you guys have subscribed, obviously you all have subscribed, we're going to give a few more people a chance to get here. But you guys, I am so excited about a lot of things. I'm excited about a lot of things. And I promise you, this is not going to necessarily become a political platform, but irrespective of political parties, I'm excited over the fact that one of my Howard University classmates, one of my Howard University schoolmates, rather, we didn't take a class together, but one of my schoolmates is the vice presidential nominee. That is exciting to me. That is exciting. And I know anytime your name shows up on a ballot, then you make yourself vulnerable to all of the darts and the things that come your way. But what exciting news for those of us who know her or went to Howard with her, we're just affiliated with Howard. We're excited. So let us just bask in that for just a moment. But hey guys, have you all shared this? Do me a favor, if you've shared this, you know, while we're sitting here chatting, you really can click on the share. And if you've clicked on share, then just go ahead and let me know that you shared it. Say, hey, Cutler, I shared, or Dunn shared, or something, and let people know. You know we transitioned over to YouTube, and Cutler's waiting. He told you that he wasn't going without his family members, so here we are. It's so good. How are you guys doing? How are you all doing? Another one that, listen, slowly but surely you all are jam-packing the room, and I'm so excited. Cousin Velma, it's good to see you. My mother, listen, you all, my mother, and you all know, because some of you all watched it and saw what was going on with me and my life in July 4th of this year, July 4th of every year. My beautiful 75-year-old mother is in the room. Ma, I see you. I see you. I don't know how to give thumbs up and all that kind of stuff, but we'll discover all that. We'll find all that stuff out a little later, but it's so good to see all of you all. So again, go ahead and at least you can like. So click on the thumbs up thing right there, so you can go ahead and like this broadcast. So it says 13 of you all are watching, but I only see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Monty, there you go. You just showed up. I see you. You just showed up on my news screen. So again, some of you all are watching. So at least go ahead and say hi, so I know that you're here. I think more of you are in the room than I see commenting, but all right. Cutler, it is the first day of school, and you can calm down. You can just calm right on down, but everybody's speaking to everybody, and that is a good thing. I'm so excited. I'm so excited because you all know I was wondering. My fingers were crossed. I said, well, are they going to come to YouTube with me? Are they going to leave me out here by myself? What's going to happen? And you guys showed me that you are going to be here. So you know what? All of you all so far that I see in here, you know me. There may be a few people who don't know me. So you know what I'm going to do, since this is my first time live here on YouTube, let me just talk a little bit and tell the others who may not necessarily know who Cutler is. Who is this Cutler? Who is this new guy, this old guy on this new platform who's talking about coming into my living room for the next 1,800 seconds? What is this guy talking about? Well, you all know this. And we can chit chat. Remember months ago, family, does it seem like we've been together this long? It was back in March when the coronavirus pandemic hit and forced us into these controlled environments where we had to really quarantine and isolate ourselves, and for some of us working into forced telework mode. And we have been here together since March. We've been together since March, and we've only had a break. We've only taken a break one time, and that was last week. But remember, during the heaviness of the coronavirus pandemic, and we had a lot of anxiety, a lot of angst about how we were going to survive and how we were going to deal with this and how long it was going to last. But what we did, we started, we took, I'm looking for, one of my books. I wrote the doggone book. But remember this, we read this book. We walked through this book, this one right here, When I'm Overwhelmed, How to Handle Life at Its Most Intense Moments. Isn't it amazing how we started off with this book? We started off here and we came through the heaviness of the pandemic and we made it. We came through the heaviness of the pandemic and we talked about things like give your emotions a voice, check on the senior citizens, check on the young folk and see how everybody's doing. And we bridged the gap. I mean, we started building community and maintaining connectivity. We saw how everybody was doing. And we said that under our watch, anybody that we were connected to would not have to go through this thing together. And we have to think about all of the stuff that we have been through together. We have been through sicknesses, we've been through disease, we've been through marriages. Some people have gotten married on internet. We've even been through several funerals. We had our first death among the virtual book club members just a couple weeks ago. We have been through so much together, you all. And guess what? We are still here together. We've transitioned from a personal page to a business page to a YouTube page, and it's all good. It's all good. So guess what? I ain't going nowhere. Now, I know I got a couple degrees. I minored in English, but I ain't going nowhere. As long as y'all stay, I'm right here with you. All right? How about that for commitment? How's that for commitment? So what we're going to do, the time is not changed. We are going to be here Tuesdays at 8 o'clock, Thursdays at 8 o'clock. Some people make fun of me because I say Tuesdays. I don't know how to say Tuesdays, but it's Tuesday to me. So we're going to be here. We're going to be here. And we're going to talk about so many things. It doesn't matter. There is no subject that we will not broach. So we can talk about, we can talk about people who are hunting for jobs, looking for jobs. We can talk about relationships. We can talk about conflict resolution. We can talk about living a righteous life. We can talk about whatever we decide we want to talk. Y'all know we family. We talk about whatever we want to talk about. And I'm from the South, and what we do, we call them kitchen conversations. We don't say sit in the living room. Come right on in the kitchen. Pull up a seat to the table. Pull up a seat to the table. Put your feet under the table, and we're going to talk. And that's what we're going to do. That's exactly what we're going to do. Are you all as excited as I am? Can you see that I'm just really, really, really excited? Let's see what's going on. Oh, Sylvia, my friend, it's good to see you. I told you all, I'm just shouting people out. It's so good to see you. But we're going to be here. I'm not leaving you all. We're going to be here every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 o'clock. And we're going to talk about current events. Yes, we are. We're going to talk about current events. We're going to talk about entertainment. We're going to probably have some entertainment reviews and talk about what's going on in the world of entertainment. But I tell you what I'm not going to do. Now, I've had a few millennials in my life and a few young folk in my life, so I'm not going to get gut bucket and ratchet. I'm not doing that. How many of y'all know what those words mean? Gut bucket and ratchet. I'm not getting gut bucket and ratchet. All right, but we can talk about current events, entertainment. We can talk about poetry. We can talk about religion. We can talk about a whole lot of stuff. All right, and we can talk about a whole lot of stuff because I wear a whole lot of hats. Many of you know, some of you might not know, I wear a whole lot of hats. I'm a professor, been a professor for years. Started out in education over 30 years ago professionally. I'm a minister, an ordained elder. Lots of things that I enjoy about being a minister, about being an ordained elder, and I'll talk about some of those. I'm also a writer and a poet. But you know, one of the things that I really, truly want to be called more than anything, I want to be called a friend. I really do. I want to be called a friend. The titles that I've earned pale in comparison with the titles that I've been given. Catch that. The titles that I have earned, they mean way much less than the titles that I have been given. I've been given the title of son. I've been given the title of cousin. I've been given the title of friend. I didn't have to earn those, but I had to be given those by someone to whom they meant something. All right. But let's talk about the professor for just a moment, because my producers they're working in the background. Some of you know that as I've transitioned, yeah, I really have good friends who are my producers, and they're probably watching and making sure that you make sure that you stay on task. You make sure that you stick to the 1800 seconds, and you make sure that you follow the program. Sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm everywhere because I'm excited. All right, but you know what? I want to talk about the professor for just a moment. I want to tell you, because people are watching. Hey, my friend Yvonne, it's so good to see you. Absolutely, cousin Jackie. Yeah, we'll do health talks too. We'll talk about a whole lot of stuff, but I want to talk about the professor for just a moment and tell you about my life as a professor. You all know, many of you know that the last 14 years of my professional career as a professor was spent teaching at Howard University, which is my undergraduate alma mater. Love Howard University. But I want to tell you about two interesting things that, maybe two or three interesting things that I've experienced as a professor. One, without fail, it has to be the interruption of my Thanksgiving dinner. I have literally had my Thanksgiving dinner interrupted more times than I can count by my students. Now, why is that? That's because I decided I wanted to be an excellent, not just good, but I wanted to be an excellent and exceptional professor. So what did I do? I gave my students, and I've done this, I did this all 14 years teaching at Howard. I gave my students my personal cell phone number. Wow. Now, why in the world did I do that? Because when I say I gave my students, not just the ones who walk into my classroom, but all of the students that I tutored in any given semester. Now, that's 150 students. Teaching 2 semesters, that's 300 students a year, times 14. So you take 300 times 14, that's the number of students that I have either tutored or taught over the years at Howard University. And guess what? They all have my cell phone number. And I said, you can reach out to me, you make sure that it's a decent hour. Well, Thanksgiving is a decent hour. So what happened? My phone rings one Thanksgiving when my oldest brother was hosting Thanksgiving. I was at my brother's house and my cell phone rang. I answered the phone. Hello, Professor Cutler? Excuse me. My response, you know this is Thanksgiving, right? Well, you said that we can call you anytime. I didn't mean in the middle of having dressing and stuffing and turkey and gravy in my mouth. That's not what I meant. But that was funny. That was a really, really funny story. And speaking of timing, I also had a student who called me at 3 o'clock one morning. 3 o'clock one morning. Well, typically I taught on Mondays and Wednesdays, and I think that was a Tuesday when my phone rang. So literally it was 3 o'clock Wednesday morning. I walked into the classroom because I have caller ID on my cell phone. Walked into the classroom and I said, somebody has messed it up for all of you all. The students looking around and what in the world do you mean somebody has messed it up for all of us? I said, somebody has messed it up for all of you all because I told you all, do not call me at an ungodly hour. Don't call me, don't dial my number or ring me at an ungodly hour. Before I could say anything, one of my students jumped up and said, Professor Cutler, I didn't mean to. It was a butt call. And I said, a butt dial or whatever it is. So that was my first lesson in butt dials because I said, well, what do you mean? Why would you call me at 3 o'clock? Butt call, butt dial. Why would you call me? And she said, no, you don't understand. You don't understand. That's when your phone is in your back pocket and you sit on your phone, or maybe you were the last number that somebody called. Because don't you remember I called you during a tutorial session? I said, yes, I do, but why would you call me back at 3 o'clock? She said, that's what a butt dial is. I sat on my phone and I didn't intend to call you. So she said, I'm not trying to mess it up for everybody. Well, y'all, you learn a whole lot from these students. That's when I realized what butt calling and butt dialing really was. I had no idea what it was about. Had you all ever heard of that term? Leave it to me. My students had to teach me that. All right, so really, that's the professor, and uh, and then you have these brushes with you have brushes with famous people. You don't always get to them, but you certainly have these brushes with them. And teaching at Howard, I think that the two most famous people that I had a brush with was probably, oh, it's so good to see y'all. Say, listen, I'm going back and forth. Annette, it's good to see you, my Rosie. When I tell you the people are showing up, I got 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds, 80-year-olds. Everybody is here. You all didn't forsake me. You didn't leave me alone. But hey, I'm still. How are you all doing? I'm glad that you all made it. Yvonne, I see that you made it. I'm so excited about this. But I was just talking because people are going to start reading and say, "Well, who is this Cutler guy?" So I'm just giving them the first go around as to who Cutler is. But another brush that I had with, I got to take a drink of tea because my throat is getting dry. Hang on, you all. Did I slurp that? I didn't mean to slurp. Sorry, Mom. But a brush with another brush that I had with famous people, they again don't come any more famous than this. Barack and Michelle. Barack and Michelle. Can you believe it? I had brushes with them. They came to Howard, and I don't tend to think that I am, what is it? Awestruck by popularity and fame. But I have to confess, I have to admit, I was doing everything that I could to really get in their personal space. But hey, it is what it is. As the tautology goes, it is what it is. But that's the life of, and I love teaching. I absolutely love teaching. Teaching to me is not just a vocation, but teaching to me is a calling. Because when you walk into a classroom and parents have trusted you with their children and guardians have trusted you with their children, that is not a charge that you take lightly. And so you make sure that you don't mishandle them. You do not mishandle them. All right. But I absolutely love teaching and have loved serving as a professor. What else? They told me to talk about as a minister, as an ordained elder. That is the most humbling. That is the most humbling experience of my life, to think that I've been called and assigned to do something by by the creator of the entire world as we know it. That's humbling. That that is so humbling. If you ever meet an arrogant preacher, I dare say you have met a preacher who has not realized the magnitude of the one who called him or her. Because so many people are charged with participating in this thing that we call creation, but to then have the extra responsibility of carrying God's word and to inviting and bringing others into the fold, that is so humbling to me. I almost think, I almost imagine, let me paint this picture. I almost imagine God as a person. And if God is a person as bigger than I am, and I'm not reducing him to humanity, but imagine us. Cousin Minky, it's so good to see you. Imagine us with a golf ball or a marble, not a golf ball, but a marble in our hands. And then imagine knowing every speck, every microscopic speck that makes up that marble and everything that is happening in that marble. And to think that there's a creator of the entire universe who looks at that marble and then decides, you right there, I want you to carry my word. That is humbling. That is absolutely amazing. And then beyond the fact that we are chosen and called to carry his word, think about all of those of us who are not necessarily chosen to carry his word, but that he loves each and every one of it. Is amazing. And to be able to remind people of the love of God is one of the most humbling experiences of my life. It really, really is. Minister Pat, my friend, it's so good to see you. We got two sisters here. We got the two sisters here, Mom Rosie and Minister Pat. It's good to see you all. But again, think about it. Think about the fact that you have a marble in your hand, and you know every microscopic thing that makes up that marble, and you have the capacity to love everything of that marble. That is beyond mind blowing, right? To think that God can look down and call us and still love us all. I'm amazed. I'm amazed. But some of the fun stuff that I do as a minister, because I've talked about me as a professor, some of the fun stuff that I do as a minister. Kim, it's good to see you down there in the Hampton, Virginia area, Miss Sanctified Vessels. But listen, as a minister, I do have fun. I absolutely have fun. It is so much fun to me when I get a chance to perform weddings. I love performing weddings. I do. I love seeing people love each other. Oh God, how I love seeing people love each other. I love seeing people commit themselves and dedicate themselves to each other. And I say to every couple that I've ever performed, whose marriages I've ever performed, I say, listen, you got me for the rest of your life. So if there's anything that you need that pertains to this marriage ceremony that I'm doing, you got me for the rest of your life. Wanda Ross Evangelist, is good to see y'all. And when I tell you all, thank you, Marty. When I tell you all are making a brother feel so good because you didn't leave me and you didn't forsake me. I wish I could play the piano and really sing, because I'd probably just break out singing and playing. But hey, I don't do that. Many of you all do, but I don't. But I love being a minister. I absolutely love being a minister. And do you know, one of my friends said to me just recently, you find God in anything, don't you? And my response was, I may not necessarily find him in everything. And one of my eyes is I'm not crying. I'm really not crying. I have dry eye syndrome. But he said, you find God in everything, don't you? And my response was, I may not find him in everything, but he manages to find me everywhere. And so now you'll take that and do whatever you want to do with it, because I didn't know if it was coming from a good place or a bad place, but absolutely, yeah, I do my best to find God in every single thing that I can, because he's got the whole world in his hands. So here was the response. Well, if you can find him in anything, can you preach? Can you make a sermon or preach about anything? And I said, well, I don't know, but hey, listen, if there's such a thing as parables, if Jesus could teach in parables, then yeah, I could do my best to try to find God in anything and somehow make God relevant. So this was the challenge, you all, and I thought about it. So I said, I was just going to share this with you all tonight, because he challenged me as a minister. And he said, well, what about fingerprints? Because I think this is somebody who must have seen one of my previous broadcasts. And he said, well, what about, if I give you the word fingerprints, can you preach a sermon on fingerprints? I said, well, I absolutely can. And you know what, you all, I wanted to share this with you, because this is just my outpouring about fingerprints. Just this week, no, just the end of last week, but because it was Friday, I had to go and get fingerprinted for my job. I had to update my my ID. And I'm just chit-chatting with you all, because this is just family talk. I told you all for the next 1,800 seconds we're together. But he asked me if I could talk about fingerprints. And I just want to share this with you, because it really blessed me. As I think about fingerprints, each set of fingerprints, each set is unique. And fingerprints, and I just want to encourage and lift us up tonight. A fingerprint, or a set of fingerprints, is used to identify and to indicate when something has been touched by somebody. When something oh Lord, I see preachers on the line tonight, so you all I might get amens, a whole lot of stuff. But fingerprints are used to indicate when something has been touched by somebody. And my response was, I may not necessarily want my fingerprints everywhere, but there's one set of fingerprints that I surely want in my life, and that is the fingerprints of God. I want my life to reflect that I've been touched by God. I want my life to reflect that I've been favored by God. I want my life to reflect that I've been blessed by God. I want the fingerprints of God all on my life. It doesn't matter what's going on in my life, come hell or high water, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. I'm always looking for the fingerprints of God on my life. Can I get an amen from somebody? And the beautiful thing about God's fingerprint is that when he touches, God knows, Lord have mercy, God knows how to touch us without leaving a scar. He knows how to leave his prints, but not leave a scar. All right, so that is it. I can't talk about fingerprints anymore because I'm telling you, while I'm going through this pandemic, I want the fingerprints of God on my life. While I'm dealing with heartache and heartbreak, having to bury loved ones, I want the fingerprint of God. I want my life to look like God has been here. All right? I want my life to look like, yes, Minister Pat, somebody touched me. I want my life to look like somebody has touched me. I want it to look like the hand of God is all on my life. All right, listen, I told y'all, didn't I tell y'all on this Let's Talk and Cutler platform, we can talk about a whole lot of stuff. One of my goals is to never let us leave down, but I always want us to leave up and encouraged. I want us to leave every platform, every conversation better, feeling better than we did when we opened this platform. All right. I want this 1,800 seconds to mean something. All right. And I want us to be lifted. So then, and again, we won't be talking religion all the time, but let me tell you, one of the things I will not apologize for. I will not apologize for is the presence of God in my life. I won't apologize for that. And it's just a part of who I am, and it'll come out. Because one of the things that I would, Twin, I see you down in Atlanta, because one of the things that I really want to spew out of me is the love of God, is the love of God. Cousin Ezel, you're absolutely right. We all need to be touched by God, but I want the love of God to spew out of me, because when I consider all of the channels and the things that we see on social media, all of that kind of stuff, I want to make sure that I'm adding to the positivity, and I'm adding to the righteousness, and I'm adding to the goodness, the positive energy that we need. Because if we have to be confined, and if this is our way of communicating, then let's do it in a positive fashion. Let's do it in a positive fashion. All right, that's right. Thank you all. Thank you all. I mean, you all said never apologize about God. Don't apologize. We all need to be touched. You're absolutely right. Is anybody glad that the fingerprints of God are on your life? Think about it. Lord have mercy. Think about where our lives would be if we didn't have the fingerprints of God on our lives. All right. So then, all right. My time is almost up, but what I want to do now. Cousin Hattie, it's so good to see you all. Listen, you all are making my heart glad. Do me a favor. If you're enjoying this conversation, click on that like button with the thumbs up, and then click on share, and just let people know. When I tell y'all are saying hallelujah, I want to say hallelujah too. Lord knows I really, really do. That fingerprint thing, I'm telling you, that fingerprints thing is going to mess me up. And let me just go back to the fingerprints for just a moment. Does anybody remember when I think it was this fluorescent light, or maybe it's called a black light, I can't remember, and you may have put your fingerprint on something, and then it you have these prints on your arm, but it doesn't show up until you walk under this black light. Lord have mercy, y'all, you're gonna have to leave me alone. One of the beautiful things about the fingerprints of God is that they show up on my life in the midst of a dark situation. Lord have mercy. Lord, I'm getting ready to jump up out of this chair, because you all know what I'm talking about. There were times when you could get stamped, but the stamp didn't show up until you went under a black light. What are you saying, Cutler? I'm saying that there are times when the fingerprints of God on your life show up the most when you're in a dark situation. I gotta let that go. I gotta leave that one alone. All right, so let me talk about. I'm trying to just tell y'all who Cutler is. Good God Almighty! I'm just trying to tell y'all who Cutler is, and that is a big part of who he is. All right. The next piece, you all know Cutler as a writer, Cutler as a poet, and all of those wonderful things. We have taken a look at, let's see, we have walked through this book. We've walked through when I'm overwhelmed. We have walked through this book. We don't always get it right the first time. And what we're going to do, we're going to walk for our next part of the rest of our conversations. We're going to spend a lot of time. You're right, God's word is never ending. We're going to spend a lot of our time reading from this book, Billboards to Better, 366 daily sources of motivation and inspiration along the highway of life. If you don't have this book, do me a favor. Just run over to Amazon, get the book, and a lot of our conversations are going to come from this book. We're gonna. Do you all have any questions or anything for me? Because I'm reading the chats and listening. I love having you all here. This is our family time. But we are really going to talk about a lot of things. There's daily motivation, daily inspiration in this book. For example, if you were to look at the daily quote for August 11th, it says, "Stop staring at the questions and start looking for the answers." We'll do this. We'll read these and we'll just chat. We'll have a conversation because I want to know what it means to you all. But when I read that, as a matter of fact, not only when I read it, but when I wrote it, I thought about sitting in class because it says stop staring at the questions and start looking for the answers. I, I was thinking about sitting in a class and taking an exam, and we stare at the question as if the question is going to change. But we stare at the question and you're trying to make sure that you get that one right answer. We try to get that one right answer. So we keep staring at the question. We keep staring at the question as if it's going to change. Well, the question is not going to change. And for some questions, we have to realize there is more than one answer. And I would take a quote like that and say, stop staring at the questions and start looking at the answer. Because when it comes to the answers in terms of what you're going to do with your life, the sky is the limit. There are limitless possibilities. There are lots of answers to the questions. And so we will talk about things like that because the mere fact that there are a whole lot of answers, I would transition that into a message that says there are a whole lot of possibilities in your life. There are a whole lot of perspectives. There's a whole lot of potentials. Your life has more than one answer to it. It has more than one answer to it. And so we'll talk about it. And I will say to you, hey, join me for the conversation because when some of these things come about, guess what? I'm just trying to save your life. All right. You know what I want to do next? What I want to do next is, and I know we've been chit-chatting for a little over these 1,800 seconds, but I mentioned to you that I'm a poet, and I want to end this broadcast. I really want to end this broadcast by sharing with you a couple pieces of poetry. We'll do the same thing Thursday, but next week we're going to meet. We're going to come back here, and we're going to really go into more of a structured conversation. I won't be all over the place, but can I tell you all, I feel so loved, and I'm just so excited that you all are here with me. Uh, I really am. I'm so excited that you guys, I use the word guys, no disrespect. I'm thankful that you, my friends, my family members, uh, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so thankful that you all are here with me. And I promise you, it really is going to be always an upbeat conversation. What I want to do now is to share a couple of pieces of poetry with you, and we'll go off like this. All right. Do you all have any comments, any questions for me so far? I love the fact that I can see your questions, I can see your comments. So I want to know I can see your comments rather, and I want to know if you have any questions. All right. Meanwhile, what I'm going to do is read a couple of pieces of poetry. All right. I want to read one that I don't think I've shared with you, and that is, I know what people are thinking. If I am nothing else, I'm always very human in my perspective. In my front, I always have a very human perspective. And I always want to be relatable, and I always want to be reachable. And I always want to be able to connect with anybody at a minimum on a human level. At a minimum on a human level is where I want to meet people. And I never want to I never want to mishandle the trust of dealing with people. So I wrote this poem that says, I'm human just like you are, and I know what people are thinking. No, I'm not a mind reader, but I know what people are thinking. So you tell me what you think of this poem. I know what people are thinking. No, I don't think I know or hope I know. I know that I know what thoughts they think, feelings they feel, dreams they dream, and hopes they hope. I know what people are thinking because I am them and I am with them. I have been where they were. I can be where they are. I should be where they will be. I am every man, woman, and child that I don't know. Every brother and sister whose blood doesn't flow through me, in me, or with me. I am every man who makes a mess and seeks redemption. I'm every woman who weeps for her transgression, every child who has been chided for choosing the wrong direction. I know what people are thinking when they smile, laugh, and cry, when they live, love, and die. I know what people are thinking when they are hurt and never healed, when they are emptied and never refilled. I know what people are thinking when their wounds find some mending, and when their sorrow finds no ending, when their happiness finds no shame, when their conscience finds no blame. I know what people are thinking when they smile through their tears, when they rejoice through their fears, when they rid themselves of strife, and when they fully appreciate life. I know what people are feeling, hoping, dreaming, and yes, I know what people are thinking. I have one more. I hope you like that one. Did you all like that? Did you like that? I know what people are thinking. That is found in my, I think this is my third book, Who We Once Were. I want to go off this evening's broadcast and family chat conversation by reading one of my mother's favorite poems of mine. And again, you see that I strive to connect. I strive to connect on a human level. Thank you all. Thank you. I see your hearts and the yes, I love it. The yeses that say I love it. Thank you all so much for that. Um, what I acknowledge is that my writing is a gift from God, and I don't take that lightly either. You know, everything that we somebody told me that I wear my emotions on my sleeve, and when it comes to God and His grace, I guess I do. But somebody told me that I wear those on my sleeve, and again, when it comes to God's grace, I really do. I wear those on my sleeve, and I never take for granted that God has invested anything in me. I never take that for granted, even this gift of writing. So I always try to give it back. I always try to make sure that somehow God is glorified in anything that I do. Uh, letting your light so shine comes about so many different ways. It comes about so many different ways. We let our lights shine when we smile at people. We let our light shine when we are courteous and kind. We let our lights shine when we say thank you, when we reflect the love of God. We let our lights shine when we do all of that. And guess what, you all? We are admonished to let our lights so shine that men may see our good works. And I'm so glad the scripture does not stop there. Because if we just let our light shine so that men could see our good works, that means it would be all about us. But it is never about us. Because the end of that says that men may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. So the next time when you decide that you want to frown instead of smile, think about, I gotta glorify God. The next time when you don't want to say thank you, when you know it's okay and it's proper and it's right to say thank you, say to yourself, I want to glorify God. Can I tell you that you're doing ministry when a smile is more ministry than you ever thought it was? All right? So I want to connect with you one more time on this human level. And then we'll we'll retire for the evening, and some of us will go and get our snacks or late desserts after dinner and all those sorts of things. And I'll certainly do that as well. One of my mother's favorite poems that I wrote several years ago was called Tired and Weary. And this is the foundation for us being here. This is the foundation as to why we are now doing what we call Let's Talk to Cutler, building community and all of those things. Tired and Weary says this: today, I'm tired of living. Tired, just tired of giving and giving and giving so much until I give away my ability to get. Can't get up, get through, get there, get enough, get in, get out of my way because I'm tired of living. Today I'm weary of life, weary, oh, so weary from breathing and breathing breathless air and drinking dry water and thinking thoughtless thoughts. Thought I could, but I can't. Thought I would, but I won't. Thought I ought to, but I don't really want to be bothered because I'm weary. Today I'm tired, just tired and weary, oh, so weary. But I live today because my brother just might become tired and weary tomorrow. I hope you all enjoyed that. I hope you liked that. This is the Let's Talk to Cutler platform. All of our virtual book club family members are here. Did you all like that one? Tell me what you thought of Tired and Weary. It is my mother's favorite. It is my mother's absolute favorite out of all of the poems that I think I've ever written. That is my mother's favorite. And as we are going through this pandemic, as we are quarantined, as we are inside observing social distancing, as we are doing what we do, Cousin Azetta, it's good to see you, as we're inside doing what we do, remember to be strong for somebody, because if we, by our own volition, end up not here tomorrow, God help us, because if I'm not here tomorrow and my brother or my sister becomes tired and weary tomorrow and I'm not here, what becomes of them? It has been my honor to be in your living room, in your family room, in your kitchen, in your den with you once again. I can say without reservation, I absolutely love the fact that God has blessed me with you all and that we connect. So as I always say, let's continue building community. Let's keep on maintaining connectivity. Let's keep our heads up, our hopes up. Let's stay safe and stay sane. Thank you all so much for joining. Go to www.gbcutler. Thank you, Devin. Go to www.gbcutler.com. Get your copy of Billboards to Better or any other book that you choose to that I've written. And I will see you next. I will see you Thursday at 8 o'clock. Make sure that you tell people Cutler is on. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. That man is talking some good stuff. And guess what? He's Zara Forbes, just before I went off, it's so good to see you. And you tell them that he's talking good stuff and he's just trying to save your life. I'm gonna stay for a few more seconds. So if you got your books, just chit chat and say, yeah, I got mine, I got it. I'm reading the comments. God bless you all. Listen, go and get a snack. Go get something to eat. I'm gonna do the same thing. If you want to know what I'm eating, call me, text me, and I'll tell you. But until Thursday, thank you all so much. God bless. I will see you then. Don't forget, like, comment, share, subscribe.